Welcome to Energy Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday the 3rd of April comes to you from Lisbon in Portugal. Here seeing clients over the last day or two. Interestingly, we start with the energy mix. So we start with crude oil as always, and we see here that crude has been making quite a strong recovery just at the end of last week above the cloud here. We have got an upside target to 55.60. But we'd need to break higher than the 53.74. We see here potential double bottom in the oil price, but this fall away still really hanging over us and price below the cloud, although the lagging line does seem to have found some support. We do have a mix of targets. The long-term chart still has upside targets and no clear downside targets. This 48.20 target still hanging over us probably is the key one. Worth taking a look at the 1 minute chart. And to do that, just click on the 1 minute chart here, press the T key on your system. We do have this 55.60 target which is activated, so that is good. And looking at the upside chart here at the smaller box size, 54.30. We do have a couple of targets pointing towards that, and no clear downward selling thrusts on the very short-term chart. The 1 minute chart is where we'll see this show up. We've got a mix of targets here. Keep an eye on that on your system, worth keeping an eye out. Taking a look at WTI, we see much the same thing, bullish. We've got an upside target here of 52.36, that's 3.4% upside, but we do have in the medium term this downside target of $37 hanging over us on the price, so quite key there too. Looking at US NatGas, that's held up really well, and we hit the 324 target. That target was given and met, which is bullish confirmation. We're bullish on the short and long-term chart. The medium-term chart still has a little bit of work to do. Again, with US NatGas, you can go for the 1 minute chart and just see what the targets are. Press the T key. Automatically, we see we've got 306 as a potential downside target, but we also have these upside targets. The shorter-term box size gives us 327, 328, so a little bit of upside still to play for there. Taking a look at heating oil, we see here we've got much the same picture as crude oil, and looking at RBOB, bullish on all three charts. RBOB really is still a standout here, about 2% upside, and on the medium-term chart as much as 6% and 5% on the long-term chart. Looking to coal, we see here bullish on the short-term chart. We've got an upside target of 68.72. Quite a mixed picture still. We still have targets to the downside in the mid-50s and the mid-40s on coal, and emissions as well is looking pretty bearish. Looking at MBP, we see front month MBP is falling away this morning. If we take we are actually up this morning, but we are still yet to really break through on the cloud here, and the medium-term chart is still pretty bearish. Again, we can take a look at the 1 minute chart here, just to get a handle on MVP. Press the T key. We do have this 38.45 target hanging over us, and 36.95 and 37.35, mostly downside targets on European gas. And TTF is up this morning again, and if we take a look at the 1 minute chart there, we'll see just again downside targets 14.78, but that's got not yet not activated, and 15.36 is a near side, but quite a lot of volatility showing up here in the price. Looking at the dollar index, we see on the dollar index that we are bullish above the cloud, and we still have this dollar recovery going on, but the medium term there is strong resistance at about 101.43, 101.50, so that's the level to keep an eye on. Euro is actually weak this morning, below the cloud, so we are just seeing here again that's a bearish time frame there too. So interestingly, we are just seeing that. Sterling is recovering somewhat above the cloud, but still a pretty mixed picture there. And looking at the sterling euro rate, we're seeing here as well that we are just bearish below the cloud there too. Taking a look at OTC products, this is all coming from the Trayport screen in Updata. your Trayport screens feeding up the updated prices here. Allows us to chart OTC prices. We see on front month MBP much the same picture as we saw on the exchange traded contract. No great surprises there. We can, of course, from the Trayport screen go straight into Updata. Just go Updata chart, your right hand click there, and we can go to the 1 minute data and get a handle on that as well. Press the T key, and we see here that we have got mixed targets, downside of 38.95, upside of 44.45, so that's pretty good going as well. Taking a look at the prompt markets, we see here that it's pretty volatile, and MBP gas is still looking pretty bearish. On TTF high cal, we see here that we are rising above the cloud on the short-term chart, so a little bit of a recovery going on short-term, but the medium and long-term picture is still pretty bearish there as well. And gas markets just generally recovering a little bit short term, but the medium term still pretty bearish. This is gas, NCG, and then if we look at Gazpool, we see much the same thing. Taking a look at German baseload, we see that we really have bounced on the cloud here. I was doing quite a presentation on Friday to power traders, and we see here that German power is really finding that support there, and that's really cool. So that's great. So one thing about the German power chart is just this strong recovery in the medium term, and we're seeing here a bounce really at this 28 level. So how high will we go? We've got 32.64 as a target, and of course what we can do is open the German power chart. And in Updata, you have access to all the Trayport instruments, so we can just type Germany, go straight to the base load, and go years, the near contract, and we can go to a 1 minute chart and just get the targets by pressing the T key again. And really interestingly here on German power, we've got this 38 target, 30 euros 80 and 31, so that's 3% and 3.6% upside respectively, looking really strong. German power is the real standout in energy at the moment, looking quite strong. Of course, we need to just keep a close eye on these oil prices. That longer term may have an impact and drag down the energy mix there, but German power looking pretty good. And looking at the quarters, looking strong as well, as are the months. We're really seeing these power prices running in Germany. France is up this morning quite strongly on the Cal contract. Again, looking good, but the French contract is much harder to analyze, having had the run in the nukes last year, and we're seeing here in the quarters that's really showing through. So just a much harder chart to look at. Germany is really leading the way. Dutch power, we see here we're closing in on this pattern here, pretty sedate compared to German power. And Italian power, much the same thing we're seeing here. And then Spanish power, we are just bouncing off the cloud here, looking quite strong all round. So Spain and Germany, the real standouts in terms of the power markets. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.